script. Your hustle isn't a side thing, it's your training ground. Welcome to Unbreakable. All right. Good morning, everybody. Hey, so last week we had a lady on representing Legal Shield, and it was a beautiful thing. What made it so beautiful was because I had more responses and more questions than normal. I had people actually reaching out to me, so it must be something that's very important about setting up your side hustle as a business. How can you make more money? How can you protect yourself? What things do you need to put in place? What systems do you need to have in place in order to be able to automate some things so that you can make money in your sleep? We just briefly touched the surface about that. We didn't really get deep into it, but it was good enough and enough information for people to reach out and ask some questions. And so, those that ask some questions that I'm gonna send some videos to, I am going to get you the information. So, just hold tight, and that information to be going out to you today. And so, I want to talk about kind of my very first coaching point as I'm setting up the screen here. The very first coaching point should be your mindset before money. Most people think money before mindset. And what happens is when you think mindset before money, you're actually growing as a business person, which will allow you to generate more money and not just put a cap on what you're doing. So a side hustle should really grow you first and not just your bank account. And so sometimes people will, chase the money and not really take and align your side hustle with your temperament and long-term goals, and what would that look like. And so I did a lot of coaching, and I used to run sports camps on the side. I never turned it into an official business, and it was about taking the money and putting it into my account. What I did grow in was my ability to market, my ability to help people to continuously grow, to help the coaches work with their teams, the team development. I really learned how to take care of people at a whole nother level because I took care of people who were taking care of people. So I needed to make sure that they have everything that they needed in order to be successful. And what they did was that transition to me learning more about people's temperaments so that I could serve them even more better. And what ended up actually happening was I ended up getting certified as a temperament expert. And then I started adding more things onto it. I learned how to do negotiation. I learned how to do temperament with sales. I learned how to do leadership and management. I learned how to do organizational development based off of temperaments. I learned how to do teaching and learning styles. And that made me an elite trainer. But that started out from a side hustle, but it grew me. And with that skill set then grew money. So you want to make sure that you have the right hustle in place so that it can not only multiply your bank account, but it really multiplies your skills. And then that begins to fall over into like your career, into your relationships, and it will build a personal confidence level like you've never seen. And so, um, I'm not afraid to market. I'm not afraid to hear no, because I never really hear a no as no. I just hear it as maybe not right at this point, but stay with me. It's still an opportunity. And so it helped me to grow as a professional and serving people. at another level. It has helped me to be able to now be able to build platinum teams and coaches and managers and leaders. When they want platinum performance from their team, they hire platinum coaches to get it done. And that's exactly how I categorize myself as a platinum coach, because I've studied and studied and studied and practiced and practiced and practiced. And now I'm getting results just from taking that hustle and turning it into a business with a, with the LLC, moving to a S corp, putting it in a trust, and then doing all of those things that will come with it, and it protects your money. And it's great for tax navigations and those things of that nature. And so just remember that a side hustle only pays you dollars, but growth, but not growing, is what's going to be too expensive. Staying at the same level and still doing the same thing, but not making the money that you need to make, that's expensive. Now, I kind of want to touch base here. Last week, I know someone reached out to me and they asked, how can they take their jewelry business to another level? They seem to go to trade shows. They really love doing putting together the jury and making it, and that's their gift. But learning how to take that particular gift and outside of a craft show, what do you do? Are you taking videos? Are you taking pictures of it? Are you looking at little or collecting little things that maybe you've ordered little pieces of jewelry in that has come, and see how much those things cost? Did you turn it into an LLC? Do you have an EIN number? Do you have a CRM system so that you can collect people's information? Those are all things that kind of go along with it. And it can be a headache when you don't have a coach that can coach you through it and say, okay, here's step one, here's step two, do step three, here's step four. So I would recommend during this day and time that everybody gets some type of coach. I have three coaches. And I'm gonna be going to one of my coaching events this coming weekend. It's gonna be dynamic and off the chains. And so look to get someone that you can surround yourself by, or take some coaching courses that helps you to level up and to take your side hustle and turn it into a business. And coaching point number two is character in the hustle. How you show up in your side hustle, that's really who you are. So some people will have a hustle, something that they really like to do, but they really don't develop it. And that's probably a reflection of how they develop themselves. That's who they really are. They may not finish things. They may not like to work harder than what they need to. So they will stay just doing trade shows. They'll pay for the booth rental, but getting a little extra more, it does require some more energy. It does require more work. It does require a little bit more studying, but you also will make more money. But a lot of people don't push through that next level. And integrity really matters, because when you start cutting corners, wherever you cut corners, that's going to start showing up everywhere and in your business. So don't cut corners when it comes down to things. Go ahead and take the long road. I know that sometimes when I listen to training tapes or books on tape, I like to stop it and take the note right when I hear it, because it's an aha moment that I'm capturing. It's not fleeting away. And I know that some people like to listen to the same book on tapes, and they will just listen to it while they're driving in the car, and it's going in and it's getting in. But do they really actually execute what they heard? It's more easier to execute it once it's written down, because now you actually have a plan that you can post. you've actually taken it seriously and made it some notes, and you know what steps to do so you can go back and just review and read it versus re-listening to it, rewriting it down, which you didn't do in the first place, but now you have to re-listen to it and then you have to find out where the notes were. And so don't cut corners when it comes down to doing things, and stay inconsistent. Part of developing as a business person or taking your side hustle to a next level is being consistent with it, posting consistently with it, looking at how to market your whatever it is that you're creating, your product consistently. It's about doing it a little bit. If you just did 20 minutes every day, do 20 minutes every day. At least you're being consistent and you putting some type of work into it. Your repetition in small venues often leads to bigger doors to open for you. And so I when I moved down to Florida, I started out doing some small things, but when I did those small things, I never cut corners. I over prepared. I was able to shift and show up no matter what was needed. Then that opened the door to some more contracts. Then that opened the door to some more uh, partnerships. And it's just growing and growing and growing. And if anybody knows, Florida right now is a booming market. It's really growing, but you do have to get your hustle on, and you have to be ready to go and, eat well, live well, and be consistent in it. And your hustle, it's only your practice field, but you need to play it like it's like you playing a championship. And then my final and third coaching point for this Tuesday is performance that scales. Use your side hustle as testing lab for your future success. So most people don't want to put it out because they think they need to have everything perfectly. They think they need to have everything lined up right. They think they need to have everything all in place before they launch. They think they need to have all the certifications going, when really it's just your practice laboratory just to see, oh, well, this worked. Oh, well, I got good response. Let me build on that. Okay, well, that didn't work. So let me switch on this. And so I'll give you a perfect example and be real open and vulnerable about it. People like my podcast when I have guests on. I get the most views, I get the most comments, I get the most response on that. So I'm going to continue to have more guests on, but I just need to make sure that those guests are a part of the vision to be able to equip people and that it fits in alignment with what I do. And so that's a test. That's what's coming out of the laboratory. And that was is what seems to be helping people. And so I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. And then so to me, that's a win. So I track that win. And I'm going to take that and turn that into a system. We're going to be launching our courses in October, and we're going to help more people. And so all of that'll be a part of the strategy as I invite people to come on to help you guys. And then reinvest what you've earned into knowledge, tools, and opportunity. Everybody should have a coach. You don't need a coach. Some people say, well, why do I need a coach? I can read and do it on my own. You know how many people would rather try to build their own website versus having somebody else do it? And you could tell who's built their website, but nobody will tell them the truth. Some of y'all that build y'all websites, you can tell you're not professional at it. And because you're not professional at it, you won't get that professional dollars that you've been trying to get. So you might want to go ahead and the money that you make, reinvest it into yourself, reinvest it into some tools and some opportunities to help elevate yourself. And just remember that Don't just work, for extra cash or extra income. Work for things that's going to build an extra impact in your health, an extra impact in you feeling comfortable and safe, extra impact in your health. And that's what really taking your side hustle is about and turning it into the next level type championship things for your mindset to be able to move forward, to overcome some things, and to break through some things. And so, with that being said, I'm gonna close us out on this Tuesday. Look, we're gonna have the replay going at probably at 5 in the morning for those that didn't get the opportunity to see it during the day. We'll have a replay going. We're gonna have some very special guests coming on real soon, so you're gonna stay tuned for that. We'll have some presidents of some states for Miss Corporate America coming on, and they're gonna be talking about how they were able to take that opportunity to not only help people, but to earn some extra cash. And so I think I'm gonna still make sure that these things that we work on keeps us from being unbreakable. And when we've been knocked down, we still have to learn how to get up. But what does that actually look like, and how much energy does that take? And with that being said, just remember that Tuesdays, that's your test. Test Tuesdays for your training. Every rep, every choice, every step builds toughness that lasts. It's what you do before and after the storm that determines whether you stay broken or whether you'll be unbreakable. Hey, that's my time, y'all. Everybody have a happy Tuesday. Stay productive, and I will see you soon.